Following the revolution, we started off talking about creating a new government in the United States. The first attempt, the Articles of Confederation, ultimately failed. It was replaced by the Constitution, and the Constitution had the Bill of Rights added to it. Now it's up to Washington, our first president under the Constitution, and this new government, the new Congress, to actually implement the Constitution and to make it work. One of the first issues that this new government's going to face is with our judicial system. The Constitution had been left very intentionally vague. That was to help ensure that it would get passed or ratified by the states, and also to allow for change over time. So one of the first issues that Congress faces is setting up our judicial system. The Constitution hadn't specified any parts of the judicial system, just that we would have one. So the Judiciary Act of 1789 actually sets up our court system. First with a Supreme Court at the highest level, a federal court system beneath it, and district courts at the lowest level, at the local level of our federal court system. Washington's first big hurdle is in setting up his executive branch. The Constitution had said we'd have an executive branch, and that executive branch would include the president and the vice president, but didn't really specify any others. Washington decides to set up a group of departments that will serve as his advisors on specific matters. For those, he sets up the Department of State, whose responsibility will be to deal with foreign affairs, dealing with other nations, and he puts Thomas Jefferson as the head of that Department of State. He chooses Jefferson because Jefferson is widely considered one of the best politicians we have in our nation at this time. For the Department of War, which will handle our military, he chooses Henry Knox, one of the brightest military minds in our nation. And for the Department of the Treasury, he chooses Alexander Hamilton, whose responsibility will be to manage the finances of the country, to run the business side of the nation. These three departments and the others that will later be added to it become known as the Cabinet, and again they serve as advisors to the President. Two of those cabinet positions, the State Department, headed by Thomas Jefferson, and the Treasury Department, headed by Alexander Hamilton, will lead to lots of debates within Congress, or within the executive branch. They have very different views on what types of government they believe we should have. Hamilton believes in a strong central government, one that's going to be led by the educated and the elite. He believes that the path to a successful economy is through commerce and industry, manufacturing, and trading with other nations. Jefferson, on the other hand, believes more power should be given to the state governments and less to the central government. He believes in a participation by the majority of citizens having a say and having an input in our government. And he believes that an agricultural economy is the best route to success for our nation. As Secretary of the Treasury, Hamilton is responsible for developing an economic plan. His economic plan is based around two ideas. One is we have a major debt in our nation following the Revolutionary War, and he believes that the national government should assume all of the debts that currently reside within the states. He then wants to set up a national bank. That national bank would be responsible for issuing money on behalf of the nation, and it would pay off the debts that the national government has now assumed. He also believes that with a national bank, the wealthy individuals throughout the states will invest in the national bank. It means that they will have to support the new government, because if the government fails, the bank will fail and they'll lose their money. If the government succeeds and is prosperous, it's going to mean they will have larger returns on their investment in the bank and in the new nation. Ultimately, he ties the success of those individuals, the wealthy, prominent people in the United States, to the success of the nation as a whole. Ultimately, Hamilton is able to get his economic plan approved, and there's one small exchange that's worth mentioning. The major disagreement with his economic plan was from the South. And in order to get the South to agree, the North had to make a little compromise. That compromise was that the capital would be moved from New York City, which is definitely in the north, closer to the south, to Washington, D.C. This argument between Jefferson and Hamilton goes one step further. There are those that support Jefferson and his ideas of strong state governments, and there are those that support Hamilton and his ideas of a strong central government. Washington had encouraged these two to work together to find compromises to help come up with good solutions to the problems that our nation was facing. But ultimately, the support that each receives leads to our first political parties. The Democratic Republicans, also the former Anti-Federalists, are Jefferson's party. They're the ones that believe in strong state governments and less control given to the central government. The Federalists, those that support Hamilton and his ideas, believe in a strong national government and want less power given to the individual states.